In this video, we'll take a look at adding content to a pre-created template, whether it's a template that came with the system or one that you created yourself. First of all, let's take a look at one of the templates that comes with the system. We'll click on today's special. Let's say we take a look at that and decide that this is exactly what we want for our restaurant. So at this point, we're still in the template mode, and now we will click next, and we move into the editing mode. Now in editing mode, we can take a look at what fields are editable. In this case, we have images and a bunch of different text. So if I had a restaurant and I had some food images, I could simply click on add, and I could add pictures of food, or perhaps I'd want to change this entirely. I can change this text at the top, and it could be pet shelter. And then it would make more sense when I add a picture of a pet. And I could come in here and name the pet. And these text fields are very customizable. You can make the fonts larger. You can change the color. You can change the font itself. You can bold it. You can do different alignments. So that's a way to use one of the existing templates that comes with it. Let's step back and take a look at using one of the templates I created. In this case, we'll open this template by clicking next and jumping into edit again. And let's add some content. The top and the bottom images are going to be slideshows, so let's grab these cats and we'll drop them in. So let's take a look now. We have a slideshow down the side here, and when we play this sign, you can see every 10 seconds there will be a transition between pets. In the slideshow here, you could preview your images, you can edit the time and the transition. Let's shoot this one down to 5, and let's make it a fade, and you can do that individually for each of the images. Now there is a quicker way to edit all the images at once. You can't multiply select them here, but we have an option that we can set, so we'll do that in just a second. Let's take a quick preview, and you can see that in 5 seconds this will switch to the next cat. There we go. Let's jump out of that, and now we have a dog slideshow we want to add as well for the bottom. But let's say we know we don't want these 10 seconds. Let's say we want them all 5 seconds, but we don't want to have to go in there and manually change them. And you might have a lot of images, so that would be a lot of extra work. What we can do instead is jump up here, and under this button we have options. We click on options. Now you can see this is sort of like preferences for the sign creation. So let's turn it down to 5, and we'll set a specific transition that we like the most, the sliding to the right. We'll go OK. Now when we click on plus and add photos of our dogs, they come in with that transition and 5 seconds. You can still edit them and make the transition any length you want, but at least maybe you have gotten a lot closer to what you were hoping for. And you could continue to add more photos later if more photos were necessary. And as I said, you could come in here, and when this dog is adopted, you can remove that dog and your sign will continue on, just like you can add more animals as they become available. In addition to deleting pictures or adding more pictures and changing the length of the transition, you can also rearrange the pictures by hovering over the edge. A little crosshair will appear, and you can just drag the pictures into any arrangement that you want. At this point, it would probably be a good idea to save all our hard work. So we'll click on the save button, and this window will pop up. You can navigate to wherever you are currently saving your signs. Be sure to enter in a name. And when choosing a name for the sign and any names for folders in the path of the sign, be sure to always use really just numbers and characters. Don't use ampersands or spaces, dashes. All of those can sometimes be misinterpreted by different computers and by this program. So really just stick with numbers and characters, and the underscore is always a safe bet to use instead of a space. So we'll hit OK, and that will save. And now let's quickly take a look at what it has saved. We'll jump into this folder here, and we can see the best friends folder that I just saved. We'll open that up, and you can see that it saved the background, it saved the images, it saved some XML. So really it gathered everything together and we have a folder that contains that sign, and that folder could be moved around and reopened with the program. Now let's jump back into our Easy Poster program. Down at the bottom we have scrolling text, so let's take a look at how to work with scrolling text. We'll come over here to the right and we will add some text, and now you can see it has appeared at the bottom of the sign. Background transparency. This is a little bit counterintuitive, and with most signs needs to be set to 0. There are some few signs that you might have to set it to 100%, but most of the time if you're doing scrolling text, just set that to 0 and it actually will be transparent. We can take a look at the preview, and you can see we have our slideshows, we have our background, we have our scrolling text. The preview text is not accurate. It actually is this Helvetica style font. That concludes the editing portion of sign creation, and we'll move on to scheduling and outputting in the next video.